Welcome in everyone to more Mario Kart Tour content. Thank you so much for joining me. In today's video, I'll be taking a look at the week 2 update for the Ocean Tour. So we're going to take a look at how the ranked results went for week 1, take a look at the tracks for week 2, some of the implications there with the tier shop, with the week 2 pipe, should you be pulling on that. If that sounds good with you all, be sure to show your support with the channel by leaving a like on this video and subscribing. Thank you so much for the support. All right, let's get Lakitu Summertime up here. There he is, snorkel and all. We have a 3rd place finish. So those of you that were following along with the Discord live streams, you know that this is the most amount of effort I've put into a ranked cup in many, many months. Watermelon Kart is in the books. We just managed to secure that. Let's talk about some of the strategy that was involved with getting this. All right, so we can see I came up just short of 2nd place here. And these were my scores here. Daisy Cruiser, I had 15.9, just 10 points shy of 16 in fact. I purchased the Daisy in the tier shop, so she was 2 out of 3 progress towards level 4. Increased the frenzy chance, and on my very first run actually, all that manifested itself. I had a blooper frenzy and 2 coin frenzies for a triple frenzy run. Unfortunately though, I had no experience on the track and my line was totally haywire. We could have done so much better than that. It was definitely, the run itself, the quality of frenzy was enormous, but it was actually below my projected potential. And then when my line got better, I could never repeat the kind of luck that we had in that first run. So we were stuck with 15.9 there. And then I spent an enormous amount of time on Singapore Speedway 2R. I absolutely love this track. And here's the thing, I want to juxtapose that against the Daisy Cruiser, which has all of the right vibes, right? The vacation feel, the nostalgia from Double Dash. But in Mario Kart Tour, a lot of those invisible walls in the width of the track make it very difficult to keep combo in certain sections, at least in my case with a mid-tier glider here. Conversely, on the Singapore track, I also had a mid-tier glider, but this Singapore is developed for Mario Kart Tour, so it just felt so much fun to race on this. I just kept going. There'd be runs where I wouldn't get a frenzy in the first lap and I'd be like, why am I still on this run? It's like, it feels really good. And the sights were gorgeous. I actually even thought about, I said there's a 5% chance I could put a ticket on this Cat Rosa here, which is not a move I'd want to make, but just so I could enjoy the track more. This run right here was nonstop combo, banana and coin frenzy. That's the best I could do. I did have a double coin frenzy early on, but again, my lines weren't optimized for a nonstop combo there. So once I did get that in the books, unfortunate because I think a double coin frenzy there could have fetched 16.5k, perhaps even 17k, but quite a good run. I had a blast racing on that track. And then we get to Koopa K-Bar, which is a really curious one, and this is the one that I was completing ranked mode with. I thought about making some moves on this course. I have the Starry Great Sail, it's level 5, 2 tickets away from level 6, and I was considering, I could just go level 6 and triple cap this. Looking at the course value for it, I was like, wow, there's a number of Kong tracks here, right? We see the Royal Raceways both have a Kong racer on them, as well as Cheep Cheep Lagoon, both Cheep Cheep Islands, RMX Vanilla Lake 1R. So, I mean, a significant number of those tracks, and as well as the level 6 unlock track, Choco Island 2RT is a Dixie track as well. So, but I was looking at the amount of time that was left in ranked mode, and I had approximately 2 hours. And I thought, well, I have a level 1 driver, and we're not using any high-end driver tickets this week. Therefore, I don't trust the game to produce the kind of luck that would be needed in order to get the action count necessary to, not only that kind of a move wouldn't be to take 2nd place, right? So I could have finished in 2nd place had I gotten a better run. But that kind of a move would have been to elevate to 1st place. And I just played that cautious approach. I said, look, we don't need the rubies right now, right? Top 3 finish gets the job done. Absolutely no tickets were used, and all 3 of these tracks had very terrible loadouts for me for the most part, except for that Starry Great Sail, which was definitely of service on that run. And just to see the progression of like where my skill started off at, Koopa Cape R was very difficult. On the stream, I couldn't get across the water to get the 3 coins after the gliding section. It was pointed out to me by Nap in the stream that I had smart steering turned off, and that was actually preventing me from going off-road. Go figure, it's the exact opposite mechanic as you would expect. So that was a lifesaver, in addition to a little tip Ace gave me in order to keep combo, to get the mini turbo activation in that section. So thank you so much for the support on that. We had a lot of fun and managed to snag that ranked reward. All right. So the final red ticket day of logins, and then from here on out, it gets really good, folks. We have the coins, we have the rubies, and those high-end tickets. So good. All right, let's go into the pipe for week 2 and talk about what we see here. Toadette Sailor, not a plus special skill. So instantly, most of you in the audience are going to say no pull on this one, and that's fine. Look, everybody has their own approach to things, but I will tell you this. Consider that all of the plus skills that have been brought to the game, most people are going to be treating this tour as a savings tour. Think about the demographics of players that are going to have this driver on their inventory and how that might be molded into its future value. I think that if Toadette Sailor is one that you really want to have and you're not solely focused on having your account based around plus skills, which you can be just as successful. You know, we had an extended conversation at the end of last night's stream with Intenian, the #1 ranked free-to-play player at tier 72, and similar to me, he's not invested into Coinbox. He has no Coinboxers over the level 4, and only one of them, King Bob Gold, is at level 4 even. So he's been able to march all the way up to tier 72 with the least amount of possible resources with non-plus skills. You can do it too. I have every faith in the world in that. So, and also what's interesting to note about Toadette Sailor is that she starts off with 10 initial tracks and just that one Sydney still. So that's 9 assumed value courses. Definitely gives her a head start over all of the other items, at least the other driver being Daisy Sailor. Of course, we know that the tropical balloons from week 1 started off with 11 total courses, but she could be a powerhouse in the future. And we also see the Coral Jet Cruiser, which is paired with her. Starts off with 9 courses. What's unique about this one is that it has no versions of Singapore in its value. So that's it in the way of new items in this pipe. But we do have a slew of older value, and starting off with Rosalina Swimwear. She has an enormous amount of Coinbox overlap, so she is not really seen as an optimal Coinboxer. The anecdote that is valuable for Rosalina Swimwear is that she is a heavyweight driver. So if scoring performance is your chief goal in the game, then she's going to outperform other Coinbox options, with the exception being the Gold Me Racing suit and the Question Block Me Racing suit. She's always going to be top of the mark in terms of value there, just by virtue of her larger size hitbox, so that she'll never be entirely counterfeited except by those Miis on the tracks that she has access to. We see that she did get the ranked buff here for Singapore Speedway 2T. That means that you'll be able to make use of her on that city course. Then we take a look at the Surf Sailor, which I believe has been added to the regular high-end selection. Taking a look at the value, it also picked up the Singapore coverage, so that's going to go along with Rosalina Swimwear. And what's interesting too is the hitbox on the Surf Sailor is on the larger side, so that's a good driver kart combination, at least on this specific course. Overall, the value, it's a year 1 kart. It debuted alongside Sunshine Mario, so it's nothing more to write home about other than just that large hitbox size. Now this one is very interesting. The Ship's Wheel debuted as a special pipe. It was a 50 pipe in the spotlight, just like the Fire Manta Glider that we covered. I'll put a card up above where we go into detail on that. And the value on the Ship's Wheel is very robust. A lot of this is assumed value, so much so that it appears in optimal glider combinations starting with a population of 6 gliders and more. So the kind of gliders that you would want to pair in a very powerful inventory with the ship's wheel would be that of the Golden Wings, the Galaxy glider, which was in a special pipe back in the winter, as well as the 8-bit Bullet Bill and the 8-bit Super Mushroom glider. Those are going to be the ones that are conserved through the various combinations as you increase that glider size. So the ship's wheel is a very good glider. Lightning Plus pairs well with just about everything. One of the top skills to have on a glider. And then we have the Silver Surf Master, which is a regular high-end. We pulled it in the PD pipes. It has a bit of more recent coverage, as we can see here. Picked up the Bowser's Castle this year, picked up the early Singapore's, the Wario Shipyard, the Coconut Mall. But a lot of this is going to be nitro value. So all of the ones that we just listed, at least the city ones, such as the Los Angeles, the Amsterdam, the Bangkok, those are not going to come into play at least until the anniversary in a few months from now. And beyond that, perhaps not at all, right? So the only of those city courses that you can make use of now is that Singapore 2T course. So with that out of the way, now let's take a look at this ranked cup. We have Baby Park, and it's the Bowser Jr. Cup, which means that Bowser Jr. is in the top shelf, so that's a very nice option. But we do have PD Piranha as well, which a lot of folks are pulling on and invested into from the last tour. And this is a very good track for Boomerang. I've heard that some of the action counts can get near and eclipse 200, which is just astronomical to think about for Baby Park. And then there's a selection of new items here, as well as some old, powerful existing items. We see that the Gray Cat Cruiser, standard high-end, in optimal combinations, and then we have Cupid's Arrow, which is the flavor of the season. Seeing a lot of value there, as well as the Green Cat Cruiser, go figure, is in play on this one. And then the Candlelight Flight, which has an enormous selection of tracks, but quite a bit of overlap with the Golden Wings, some of the 8-bit gliders. So that prevents it from reaching the optimal combinations of gliders that you can invest into. But the Candlelight Flight is enormously hot in terms of ranked usage. So if you're invested into that, that's more of a ranked focus than an optimization focus. So in this situation, I'm likely going to be sandbagging the second week in order to set up a very friendly and fertile week 1 in the next tour, which we'll be previewing in just a couple days time. So we can see in Singapore 2T, we have a couple Miis. You have that Swimwear Rosa, White Birdo is in a pack, and then Cat Mario has been kind of on fire lately in terms of ranked usages. So in this case, I would be going with the Lucky 7 driver if I was looking to score the maximum, since it's easier to get Lucky 7 frenzies in the back of the pack. It's just a level 1 driver than it is to fish for boomerangs. What is interesting here is this Platinum Taxi, which is in the tier shop. We're going to go take a look at the tier shop in a moment. Not the greatest value on this, definitely year 1 syndrome value, but it does offer a couple unique courses, at least from my account, such as DK Pass. Kind of slim pickings though outside of that. But it is exclusive in that just kind of juxtaposes the direction that the devs take on providing items in the tier shop. Because if we look here, the only other standard high-end that we would have access to would be the Gray Cat Cruiser that we already discussed. And the Gray Cat Cruiser has an enormous amount of value. I'll just show you in comparison here. I mean, look at how many assumed value courses this has, and it's still getting buffs, right? I mean, it just had the Amsterdam 2 a couple of tours ago. So this is certainly eligible for more, whereas the Platinum Taxi, not so much outside of those exclusive city-based courses that we see. And then Daisy Cruiser T, they brought in Lakitu for his summertime fun with the winter getup, go figure. And then both of the sailors are on this course, as well as a Daisy and a Rosa, and that Cheap Cheap Me if you picked up for the Bubble High-End. And then for carts, if you finished in a top placement for your tier that would have the Watermelon Kart, you now have access to that for week 2, which is nice. You can see that opens up top shelf from my account here. Otherwise, you're going to need a Jet Cruiser or one of those new options. And then there's that one MK 2B Dasher there. And then the Candlelight Flight. So this Candlelight Flight is going to be a double ranked usage. So if you're looking to get maximum efficiency off of your tickets in ranked mode, the Candlelight Flight is going to want to be on your radar for this week. All right, now let's take a look at the tier shop and see what are the other items that are in play here. Ooh, another glider ticket. They notice I keep passing up on those, nothing in the daily selects. But what's interesting here, I think I'm just going to get this right now for the collectability of it, right? I don't know if this presents any new courses for me, but we have a lot of coins and the shops have been a little bit cold for some time, so why not splurge and put a new super in the inventory? That's very cool. I'm not sure if I'll pick up the Platinum Taxi. I'll have to check the waiver wire on that one. But Bowser Jr. is there if you don't have one of those high-end options. If you didn't pull for Petey or don't have the high-end tickets to level him up, Bowser Jr. is quite good there. The Bowser Shell skill should be of service, especially if you have it to level 5 or greater, in which case the Bowser Shell is larger, and that's going to have a lot of destruction on the narrow baby park. All right, let's see, we earned, get an item from the tier shop, fantastic. All right, so to finish up today, let's just do today's challenge. We have Cat Toad here. We can get some more base points on him, and then we'll fire off the free pipes and leave it at that. I wish all of you out there have success in your ranked modes. If you didn't get the Watermelon Kart, look, there's nothing to fear over missing out on that. I'm telling you right now. If we look at the Wild Slugger, and if we look at the Firefly or the Dragonfly, whichever version was the one that came in the tier rewards, I haven't used that card one time, you know, and that's the case. It's going to get a returning retro course in Ranked Cup, and you're likely to have other more efficient cards to use in those situations. And if it is your only card, I would strongly caution against leveling it up, because the kind of viability it's going to have moving forward is going to be greatly limited. So, you know, when we talk about the cost of entry for things, but also the exclusivity, right? Because there is no cost for ranked mode. It's intangible, right? Like how many tickets you've spent. But you can manipulate that a bit, as you've seen that I do with my game, where, you know, I'm underrepresented in terms of my tier according to my inventory, my skill, my resources. And I'm able to get ranked results that I want without conforming to, you know, some of the more aggressive elements that exist in the game that are looking to get us to waste and use our resources in ways that don't exactly fall in line with our plans for what we would like to do with our own game state. Then, you know, you're going to be just fine not making use of those. So I wouldn't say to make a bunch of crazy moves to chase in ranked mode, because it's just a collector's item. That's all it is. Oh, wow, we got top redded. Has anybody ever said that? Top redded, that's a new one. Okay, but we snuck in there. Oh, how did we get fourth? I thought we passed a little Toadette there. Anyway, let's see, did we pull rubies? I don't remember having this many rubies before. We're back over 4K. We may have gotten rubies here. Unless there was a gift before that I missed out on, but we only got 15, right? I don't know. I'm interested now. What is this pipe gonna be? Okay, so we must have gotten the rubies. I'll have to rewind the footage and see where that happened at. But we got the bitty buggy. Okay. Normal is out of the way. Should you pull on this pipe? Well, I will say that whatever your natural instincts are will probably serve you well in this pipe, right? If you play for those plus special skills, then the kind of value that Toadette Sailor is going to present to you likely isn't going to fall in line with what your account needs. However, if you're someone that isn't playing for scoring performance exclusively and you want to optimize things in your own methods, then Toadette Sailor could be quite valuable to you then. So that's going to be like a little mini value alert for only some of you out there. And without further ado, let's just pull on it and see what we get. First one up is green. Okay, we got the super, although this is not a very good super. We have a nickname for that in the community. Second one is also green. Okay, land ship. So we're pretty cold on these, but that's all right. Anyway, stay tuned for the new tour preview. We might even get a tour teaser on Thursday, but the full trailer will be available on Friday. We'll see if Sky High Sunday will debut just a couple of days after its release in the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe DLC package. In the fine print, it said that will be available in Mario Kart Tour at a later date, which means that certainly when the next tour starts will be technically after the DLC is available. But it could be, you know, much later after, in which case, you know, will we see Sydney Sprint 3 is one of the possibilities as well. And also, I thought what was interesting is I will put in an image right here for the preview of Sky High Sunday in the MK8 Deluxe teaser image. All of the recent drivers that have had alts like Rosalina, Toadette is even in there, Daisy, right? These are the ones that we've been looking at, but even Yoshi has had one in the last couple months. The only one that hasn't been featured in Mario Kart Tour recently is Toad. So will Toad be the alt that we will see? Good question on that, right? I don't know how well thought out these previews are and if it has crossover implications whatsoever, but I know that the Toad fans are very much eager to see the next high-end version. Will that be paired with the next tour? We'll just have to wait and watch, everyone. And I'll be breaking that down along with the token shop pipes, all that we can fire on the weekend. So do be well, and I'll be seeing you soon. Take care, everybody.